Welcome to Rooster Radio, a broadcast dedicated to supporting and promoting local artists in the Gaston County and surrounding areas.
I used to own a ukulele, and I just needed some, I think I was like in between jobs or something. I don't remember what it was. I just needed some spare cash, and I sold it to a clown.
Nice. We had the Dancing Fleas in here last night. They were incredible, man.
That was so much fun.
They did like a set of Christmas music and then a set of like the normal like party rock stuff that they do. Cool. It was really cool. I'm not exaggerating when I say they might be like the most entertaining act around. They're so fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. Yeah, and they're for everybody. You know what I mean? Like that's why I say that, because like they're not. It's not really a genre specific thing that they do.
No, it's not. They bounce everywhere.
Yeah, they're kind of all around the.
They literally bounced everywhere.
Yeah, they got a lady that clogs. In songs.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, kazoos. The guy playing the slide guitar. That guy that got playing slide guitar.
Dude,
he
needs to be closer to the front so we can watch him.
I thought the same thing too.
Because I was like, even though I don't remember her name, but the lady was playing the keyboard, she would step aside, but he was just going to town. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and then the guy that plays bass, he's got a uke bass with rubber strings. It sounds crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like it sounds crazy good, and he just happens to be the mayor of Shelby.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. That's fucking the band. I mean, they're just so awesome, man. They're really cool.
The new guy that we've had practicing with us also plays the banjo, and we were talking about how it somewhat metal song sound with a banjo in it.
He also said a mandolin also.
Yeah, I have an acoustic electric mandolin at the house.
I
just can't figure out how to tune
it.
So then you guys working out?
So far, really good. We haven't had the talk yet of are you in? Like kind of like are you gonna be committed? That kind of thing. But I think after we had him play a show with us, as we called him the intern, and we
didn't have him sign a paper or anything. It's just like. We'll see how
he did mess up the coffee orders, so that was kind of iffy. But so we were just like trying to see
non-decaf. I gotta be sensitive.
He got you black tea.
Very black.
But he performed really well in front of a crowd. He has a lot of really good energy.
His stage presence is phenomenal. Like he hopped off stage at the Milestone, Charlotte, North Carolina. By the way,
I don't think we're recording that.
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, we are.
I'm just saying.
I didn't hear action.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm looking at that mic. Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
By the way.
Yeah,
but as soon as I saw the videos and he hopped off the stage and started getting interactive with the fans, I knew right away. Okay, he's good to interact with people. His test runs are going great with us.
Keeps practice fun.
He's catching on quick. Like
cool.
That is phenomenal.
Now that you're aware we're recording, you want to introduce yourselves to the audience. We're talking to a life worth, 2/5 of a life worth taking.
It's 2/5. Yeah. I'm the drummer, Zachary Lunsford.
And I'm the lead vocalist, Jay Longwell.
Oh, and Alex Lucero, this is for you, buddy. I forgot to... This morning I was very hungover from my Christmas party last night. So for you, I forgot to wear a T-shirt. So I'm showing some skin for you, buddy. Oh. I got to represent the Alex Lucero right there.
Yeah, he didn't get naked at our last show. That was nice.
I was very disappointed. I thought he would bring in. He brings in the women as soon as he throws out them magnificent boobies of his. Man, it's like. It's crazy. He's one crazy mother.
He was gonna be here with us today, but he decided to lose his voice instead.
Oh.
So that's not very helpful for a podcast.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
We'd have to teach him how to do some sign. Like you gotta.
He would just be a prop.
Yeah, he'd be.
He wouldn't be the first musician to come in with the band and sit there and not say anything.
Yeah.
I was say it happens more often than you think.
They present as a front and two people talking. There's occasionally one just is like.
It would have been cool though,
Just
because
staring at
the three of us were the original three that started the project. So
Let's start there. Talk about how A Life Worth Taking started.
Oh, if we need to go back to the beginning,
Why not? I mean, let's tell the story.
we all want to go back to that dark time we call 2020. Dun dun dun.
yeah,
Well, along that time,
you were working on a
Yeah.
band at the beginning of
I was
2020.
but then that band fell through. But then I got 2 weeks off from work. Because the president said you get those 2 weeks off with paid vacation. I said I'm going to take that. So I went on ahead and did my own little project. After that band fell through, took all my drum tracks, recorded it. After that, I was like, I need some other musicians because I cannot play guitar, anything. Drums are my life. So,
Was that a punk project as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Those sounded a little more like some 41-ish,
It
like
was-
esque.
It was a more mixture between, because at the time of 2020, I was listening like to Volumes, a lot more System of a Down, more Soil Work. I was mixing in all those to finish up the songs. Well, I was like, I need a guitarist or a bassist. I hit up my buddy Nicky. He lives in Maine. And then I hit up Jameson because I remember back then, me and Nicky, we had a band called One Final Hope. And we went on ahead and asked Jameson at the time if he could come in and be a vocalist for us. Well, I remember Jameson. I was like, dude, can you do some vocals for me? That sort of fell through, but then Jameson hits me up.
Yeah,
with
because
that.
at the beginning of 2020, I had a band called Make Believe Heroes, and our current bassist, he's actually the drummer in that band.
Okay.
And that fell through because just people getting antsy from not being able to even practice. So
It was the plague, man.
I
was scared.
So then whenever me and him started talking about that other project and that really wasn't working out, I was like, hey, I used to work with this guy named Alex who has been wanting to play in a band. Do you guys just want to hang out one day and just see what we can do? And so we met up in my garage. He brought his drum set over, and
It was
we
a nice garage.
Yeah, well, it's full now.
Very spacious back then.
Yeah, not anymore. But so we just jammed for like 3 hours, and then we were just like, yeah, this is something we all want to do, and so we just started meeting up like once to twice a week, and just started seeing what kind of songs we could crank out. And
Now we in a spare bedroom at my house. It's not even that big.
And then,
but man, we make it work.
Yeah, and then when I mentioned needing a bassist, my old drummer was like, hey, I play bass as well. And so he started coming to practice, and
Hey, don't leave me behind.
Yeah.
So it's been working. Our first song we wrote and what was on our EP, we don't even play anymore. It was called
God Save the Scene.
God Save the Scene. We wrote it at the time when there was no, like, when the 2000s pop punk bands just weren't performing, hadn't put out music in years.
Yeah.
And it was like a callback to all of those. And then before we even had a chance to finally release it, all those bands started coming back. So we joked, like, we saved the scene by every time we played that song, another band came back. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well,
How'd you land on A Life Worth Taking for a name?
I was walking through work, and that popped in my head, and we were really bad at coming up with names. So I was just like, hey, guys, what do you think of this? And we were like, sure. Yeah.
It sounds, it's got kind of like ominous
Yeah.
tones to it, but you guys are kind of more like of a fun, you kind of got more of a fun vibe going.
Right.
Yeah, the actual thought process there was I realized it would have that like kind of a double meaning because we do ride that emo line, so it kind of like, yeah, life worth taking. But then it meant more like that saying, like you take the life you want, you go after it, you grab life by the horns.
Right.
So we're chasing a life that's worth taking.
Oh, I kept on the dark side. I didn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I like that
part.
interpretation a lot better.
Yeah, that was where my mind was at, and then afterwards, like, my wife pointed that out, and she was like, "It kind of sounds, a little bit like unaliving," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that works too." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it at all. I think it's it's actually a really cool name.
yeah, with a lot of our songs also dealing with like mental health and stuff, it having that double meaning kind of also fits. So
Yeah, and I do like the attitude that you have about it. A life worth grabbing, like you said, grabbing by the horns and rolling with it.
The huevos, man.
It's just, it's empowering to just make the decision to go for something, right? Like it's just when you realize you do have it in you. Now, not everybody does,
No, they don't realize it
not-
until somebody
yeah.
goes, "Hey, I think you'd be good at this,"
Yeah, and,
and I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'll try it." That's the way it goes.
Yeah, I love it. I love where you're coming from. I like the heart behind the project, and you guys have had a chance to play here a couple times. You're a great live show. I mean, no question about it. You guys are a lot of fun to watch live.
Some sticks have been thrown. I can honestly
We keep
say
saying
that.
we're
I don't
eventually
mean
going to have a stage prop that's just like warning flying sticks.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's hit all of us a few times.
I don't mean to. It's mostly in the band practice room. You know, they don't
You need
really,
one that says low flying drumsticks.
Yeah.
I mean, if it chips off, you'd be like, "Ow, it's in my eye." You know, little wood chip right there. You know.
And there's a
not too bad.
T-shirt there somewhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a merch opportunity there
Yes.
somewhere. And speaking
already
of, you can get
copywritten.
some of Life Worth Taking merch this the December the 22nd. That's a Friday night at the Punk Rock Christmas Show. You want to talk a little bit about putting that show together and what people can expect?
I forgot
Yeah.
my elf ears.
Oh yeah. Well, we you know, our first show here was when we put together that Wet Hot Punk Rock Summer, and we were like, you know, 6 months later it's gonna be Christmas, and like, let's just do. What do you feel about a Christmas show? And so we had already written last December a Christmas song called Punk Rock Christmas, and so thought it'd be fun to just kind of have an excuse to play some other Christmas songs too, and bring some more of our friends out that we've made over the year, and just kind of have a fun Christmas party with everybody and all the people that show up, and just have a celebration of, hey, it's the end of the year. These are all of our milestones from the year, and we're just gonna have fun and celebrate the season by being sad.
Well, all right.
I love the lineup you put together, man. Yeah, I've been, me and Robbie have gone back and forth the entire year trying to get Evergone, like literally since January, trying to get Evergone a spot here. And every time an opportunity opens up, he's either playing with the Menders or the rest of the guys can't make it. Like, it never worked out until you brought this show. So I'm excited to see Evergone finally here. The Ruftons are some of our favorite people.
They are insane live.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes.
They're
They have so much
fun.
energy.
Yeah.
How he keeps in time on that guitar while jumping like he does, I don't know. We played with them for the first time back in June, and I was just like instantly like, I love their music.
Yeah. They, like, Marcos had emailed me early on, and so I didn't know him before opening this place. And I got this email, like the Ruftons, and I went like, oh man, this is cool stuff. And for some reason in my head, I had a picture of like a shorter guy, like a short, chubby guy. I don't know.
Isn't it funny how your brain does?
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
Like that
It's
too?
and then he finally shows up for the first show that we get him on. And he's like this hulking, tall. I was like, hey, like, you're Marcos. But then they put on, and they've played a couple times here already. And after seeing them live, I'm like, you can play here anytime.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
anytime you want to jump on the show, like you're welcome here because they're so much fun. And his attitude, you know, the way that they hang out and just like, you know, they want to be here, part of the community kind of vibe. I really love those guys.
Yeah, and then it was Skewer Rat. We've played with their bassist Brian a lot when Harry Rip.
Yeah.
And then when he started, we went out to see their first show that they performed as Skewer Rat, and just incredible.
How was it? Because I got a couple dates with them coming up.
Yeah, they're incredible. They're I'll let him tell you probably the story of how him and Jesse got that project started, but she has really good front woman energy.
Okay.
And incredible voice, and they're just they meld together so well, and the music is incredible.
Nice.
And I helped make their new logo, so that was fun.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think I showed it to you like a couple practices ago, but you were probably drinking.
Probably. I mean, it don't bother me. You know?
Yeah,
need a few
so
beers
we've
every
got
once in a
4
while.
bands on this show. So, you know, we've got Skewer Rat, Ruftons, Evergone, and The Life We're Taking. It's going to be a big punk rock party, Christmas party.
Yep.
And then the other thing about the show is we're doing a toy drive for the show. So it's a last minute opportunity to give right before the holiday, and we'll get these toys in the hands of some kids that really need it. So don't forget to bring toys. I'm always blown away by people's generosity when we do stuff like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know, like last year for our Christmas party, we did a toy drive for the domestic violence shelter, and we ended up raising almost $4,000 worth of toys. I mean, bikes, Barbie dolls, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then this year we're doing it again, and we just had a metal show this week that we did a toy drive for, and we got just an assload of toys. I gotta know where to put them. It's taking up one of the tables. I don't know where to put this stuff. I'm always blown away by people's generosity. So thank you to everybody that has donated and will continue to do so. And thank you for providing this opportunity with this Christmas show. Give people a chance to give.
Yeah, I've always said whenever I got a project going, I wanted to have another side of that gives back to community. We've had a lot of stuff going on with the band, so we really haven't had a chance to really workshop it like we would like to. But we're hoping to actually kind of start obviously not an actual nonprofit, because that's a lot of paperwork, and but
well, you can do it.
Yeah.
It'll justify all the money we lose doing these
That's
things.
true.
Oh no!
But
we don't lose no money
because we have because our little all seeing eye upside down logo has a name.
Hey, hey, don't be making fun of Seymour.
I'm not making fun of Seymour.
You are.
You named him that.
Because he sees more than you do.
Yeah, I mean but we kind of using him as a opportunity to make kind of like a foundation where we can have multiple. We've talked about a few things that we would like to do throughout the year to kind of give back to the community, whether it's school supplies before school starts back, or helping feed the homeless community during Thanksgiving. We have a few ideas that we would like to really incorporate into next year. So hopefully things aren't as chaotic near the end of the year as it was this year, so that we can kind of focus on that next year.
It doesn't get less chaotic.
No,
the
I know
older
it
you
doesn't.
get, the more I'm waiting for. I'm actually excited about getting a little older and having that time to just chill, especially around the holidays. I'm telling you, it is crazy how busy we all get around this time. I get it, but no, it's really cool that you've got that in you. And it's pretty it's a pretty prevalent feature or a trait that a lot of people have in this scene. Specifically people doing the original stuff. We know no one's doing it for the money, right? So
it's for the love.
Yeah, it's for the love, and just people have that nature about them.
And a lot of artists are empaths in some way, and they have that, they can feel others' pain, which also helps when you're writing. But a lot of times with that, artists in general have that trait, so they want to help and not see others struggle like they have.
Yeah. No, I agree. And do you find yourself writing when you write, are you always kind of leaning on this one particular type of emotion, or do you try to spread it around a little bit?
There's a bunch. There's not just one emotion. You gotta.
Well, what I mean by that is the emo type stuff.
Yeah.
Do you kind of lean that? Do you have a tendency, or do you put forth effort to try to go with different themes?
I do sometimes. It's just generally I try to write what I know and what I feel. And I've struggled with mental health my whole life, struggling with ADHD, unmedicated until I was 31, depression, suicidal thoughts and tendencies. There's a whole list.
What do you think all that stems from? Did that start at a certain age? Was there an event?
The first thing, the farthest back with that I can remember is I was 7 years old, and I was at a friend's house. And I'm sure it happened beforehand. This is just the part that I remember the best. I was sitting at a friend's house. We were having fun. And all of a sudden, there was this thought in the back of my head of, they don't really want you here. They're just being nice. They feel like they have to be nice to you. They'd be happier if you weren't here. Okay. And so I just got up and walked out the door and started walking back towards my house, which was clear across town. And then they freaked out. Their parents freaked out. They called my parents, who freaked out. And they were just like, what are you doing and why? And I'm like, I don't know. And it was just that thought was with me. And as I got older, it was more like, people don't like you. They don't care about you. They'd be happier if you were dead and stuff like that. So I had that with me for up until I started seeing a doctor and getting on medication till I was 31 years old. And I had that constantly from the moment I wake up till the moment I went to bed, that thought going in the back of my head all day long, every day. So. And
did you grow up in a loving household?
Yeah, it was very loving. My parents were. It was my dad's a pastor. My mom is.
Well, you just
stayed
said
home
it
and
right
yeah. There has been.
We found it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of religious trauma that I've been working through and stuff, but it was always the more of just pray about it, trust God more, and it'll.
That was one of the most frustrating things for me as a kid was like not getting answers. Not getting answers to like questions that mattered. You know, pray about it, or because I said so, that kind of shit. That was very frustrating for me as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what led me. You know, I've struggled with similar stuff. When I was a teenager, I kind of explored, you know, mind altering type stuff is what kind of I got into, is kind of what opened things up for me, and you know that worked for a while in terms of like expanding my my scope. You know, like being able to become more empathetic, understand where other people are coming from, that kind of stuff. You know, psychedelics did it for me. You know what I mean? Like I never actually
Don't
had
be looking
any,
at me on that.
but just like with anything, you know, you got moderation. So, you know, you kind of overdo it, and then you find yourself in, you know, now you're in a different bad situation. So, you know, it's good that you were able to get the help that you needed on a professional level.
Yeah, it was honestly it was life saving, and I mean that because there was a point basically where my wife was like, "Yeah, I have this feeling that one day if you don't get help, I'm gonna come home from work with the kids and we're gonna find you," and so I was like, I finally took it in my own hands and then went to a doctor and got help because it was the first time that I don't know. I've always taken it seriously, but I always thought like, I can make it. I can handle this, and I couldn't. So the way when I write too, and I get into that stuff, I have always had the thought process of if this song even helps one person, and that one person just even happens to be me,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah. Now, what about you? Talk a little bit about your journey and how you've landed here.
We don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
Yes,
the
we do.
The drummer's always got the baddest one. Oh my gosh.
He's not wrong.
I was 21. No, hold up. See, this is how fucked up, man. My brain got after that. Well, it really started at a young age, but I didn't want to question it. I wanted to think that I was living. I did have good, loving parents. They were very nice to me. My dad and my mom was very loving to me and stuff. But I guess later on in your teenage years, you feel like you want to be something else than what your parents want you to be and stuff like that.
Yeah, the rebellious stage.
Starts messing with your head, and you're like, no, I mean, you're wanting to keep me secure here and all this. Well, I didn't really get into my suicidal thoughts until after 19. I mean, one of my buddies, he introduced me to triple C's. And I was like, okay, what's that? So I tried it. There were these cough, cold medicine things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like freaking Superman after that, you know, 8 of them. But then it became an addiction, and this is a warning label for anybody. If you're dumb enough to want to do it, don't do it. Because I found out later on it was synthetic heroin, but I didn't know that, and I was popping 32 a day for a whole year. So I was trying to catch the purple dragon, every single goddamn day, you know. It was ruining my college life. I was trying to do stuff in college. It was ruining friendships. I was becoming skinnier, whiter than what I already am. And I didn't like myself. I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, man, who are you and why do you keep doing it? Well, I was telling myself, I'll quit. Didn't quit. And then one day I'm winding up ODing in my bedroom with, you know, my door getting kicked in and stuff because my buddy who was doing it with me, he didn't OD. He ran to my grandma's house across the street and he banged on her door. She came over and then she called 911, all that crap, and OD.
You flatlined?
I flatlined 3 times that day.
Jesus
because
Christ.
of all the triple C's that finally just. I already know I've probably done a lot of damage to my organs and stuff for doing it. I'll pay the piper later on in life, but that's what I get for wanting to be.
That's
a
not
rebellious
necessarily
person.
true. You know, you live a healthy lifestyle. You can bounce back. But I mean, you're kind of glazing over like you're not giving it the weight that it probably deserves.
Oh no! After that, I'm laying in that hospital bed and I'm still I'm tripping. I'm seeing stuff that I would never want to really see. The doctor's face, man, looks like freaking the Grinch going like this with his smile and all that. Really crazy stuff. Then after that, I started to recover from it a little bit, and then I started getting more heavier thoughts in my head after that. Like, why are you here? What's the point? There was a time that I found my mom's revolver.
So you were just numbing the pain for a year or two,
Well,
and then
I was
when
trying to, but me having the withdrawals I did, I finally came to the conclusion that my brain was trying to make me finally cave in, and I'm sitting there with my liquor and my mom's gun with one bullet in the chamber, and I'm just looking at it. I'm really just deep into thought. I found a different way to numb my pain away from that, but I didn't like it, and I still don't like myself a lot to this day for all the stuff I've done to it to make my demons become darker than what they are. I don't really tell a lot of people about it because, in short, you have your stuff in your closet. You do, he does, I do. We all fight our demons every day. The people watching this do too. They won't ever come out and tell you, but I'll come out and tell you now. If you have that one special friend, man, that you could just come out and just talk to, do it, because it's a bigger burden off your chest. It'll help you. But then it's all up to you in your mind if you want to.
And if you don't have that friend, come here or come to a show.
You can come and directly talk to me.
Yeah, like it's. I'm glad that you guys are being so open because there's a lot of shame involved with like admitting that you've wanted to kill yourself.
That's why it's a life worth taking.
Yeah, like I get it. Like I said before, I've been there. I don't talk a lot about it either because it makes you vulnerable. It makes you feel weak. All those things are true, but when you start to talk about it, you start to realize just how many fucking people have been there.
Yeah.
Like people that you never would have guessed. Some of the happiest people in the world have some of the darkest fucking shit inside of them.
Was it Robin Williams who said something about that? Like
He was definitely one of those people who was.
Yeah.
He made I think there was a quote of him saying that. Like, it's usually the funniest people that have the.
I didn't mean to plagiarize.
I was just trying to
But it is true. Like everybody, like you put on a front, and for me, I have ADHD, so I have this really hyper bitch in here who's like, all right, let's go. She's very positive. Then there's that one that just sits there. It's like, you suck. You got that little darkness, and it's just like it'll creep in there. And if you let it creep out, it will take over.
And if I'm being perfectly honest, I think that it's healthy to have
a balance,
some cynicism inside yourself, like something to keep you in check. Thank God for my wife. Like everyone's always telling me like how happy they are that we did this and how great I am, and I'm like, my wife can ground me real quick on that. If I start to get a big head, and then we all struggle with this stuff, man. It's like that's why I have so much respect for people that have taken the time to learn a craft, like you've learned to sing, like you've learned to play drums. When you have a creative outlet like that, it makes these things so much fucking easier to deal with.
Gives you some way to.
There's a whole lot of people. Maybe there's someone watching this right now that they don't have that. All they do is doom scroll all day. And just get reminded of how much you suck and you're not this good and look how pretty I am, look how great I am. And first of all, that's not living.
No,
that's
that's
not living
what
at all.
social media does. It makes you get a falsehood of what perfect is.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
Yeah, I don't want to get on a shitting on social media rant because believe me, I can go there.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to start a rant. I'm just saying, people see this and they're like, I want. Why can't I be there? Why can't I enjoy this thing? And then that's where your self-doubt comes in.
You got to get to it.
And it starts by showing up on Friday, December 22nd, to see A Life Worth Taking for the Punk Rock Christmas Show.
Yep.
That's one place you can come to escape from that. That mindset. Get out of your own head a little bit and meet other people that are that might share these same things, and you can make a friend and talk to somebody.
And we're gonna have presents.
Oh yeah, we'll have some gifts for y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple wrapped gifts on stage that are gonna be given out at the last last song or two.
I'll be that little elf. I'm just gonna jump behind the drum set and just start throwing it at you. Ho ho ho. Start.
Well, let me not. I do want to finish your story. So you get off of you get out. You kind of start beating your addiction. Do you still struggle with that? Or
Oh yeah, I can't go down a daggum pharmaceutical aisle and I see them. They tasted cherry flavor. So every time I walk by them, it's like I don't know, my saliva glands just kick in. I'm tasting that cherry flavor. I'm like, I really want. And I tell my wife every day, I'm like, I'm glad that I have you and my band and stuff, because I think to myself, if I go back down this road, there's not going to be a return for me. I already know for a fact that there's drugs out there that you tried to. I don't know how to explain that part. You're trying to fill a void. You know, it's like this dark opening hole right here, and you're like, oh, I miss that feeling. Oh, I miss this. But then you're like, remember what it made you become. And that's my other side, always constantly. You have that voice inside your head. You know,
Yeah.
Everybody does.
I mean, there's a certain level of strength that it takes to beat these kind of things too. Like you have to be willing to put in that work on yourself. You have to be willing to build like that willpower, the ability to say no.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy for a lot of people.
Yeah. But after my mom passed in 2020, I really fell down that rabbit. I was about to go back down that rabbit hole, but my wife back then, who was my girlfriend, she really talked me out of doing that. She helped me. She has been more of my salvation now, because she takes my good and my bad just like I do with her. I love you too, baby. If you see this, please don't kill me or poison my food later.
No, I feel the same way about my wife. Yeah, she puts up with a lot. Like I'm a lot to deal with. Like I know.
I mean, we're men. I mean, we are some difficult humans, you know.
We're all
we
like
got
that.
our
We're
own,
all difficult humans.
we got our
but
thing in our head that
I'm
makes
sitting here
us
from the wife
hard knocking.
perspective
That's
going,
part of being human.
I know, that's what.
I mean, look, you know, look, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, literally, it was only a handful of generations ago. Our ancestors, like, we didn't have access to any of the shit we have today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all, you know, hunter gatherer. Like, you know, mama's at home raising the kids.
It was a
daddy's
constant work.
There was no, there were no punk rock.
No, there's.
You know what I mean? And we're not, I mean, we're talking like a little over 100 years ago.
And if music was played, it was usually in the evening or on Sunday evenings.
Yeah. So now we have like this new normal, you know, for the world that we live in, and you know, there's so much more time because we're not, you know, scrubbing our clothes at the river. We're not we're not chopping down trees every day. Well, most of us aren't. So like there's all this extra time, and we get to choose how we fill that time.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes wrong for a lot of people, really, is boredom. You know, that's why people end up doom scrolling all day. That's why people get into weird shit, because they don't, there's nothing else, you know, to do for them. You know, maybe they don't have access to resources and they're just stuck. And then you let your mind wander and you get bored, and you know, who knows where it takes some people. And then that's why we have a place like this now, is come here and fill that time with something positive, something supportive, you know, and maybe we can, you know, save some lives, or you save some people some emotional, you know, damage, that kind of thing. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and there's a great community just around this place that if people like show up for, and even like the markets that you do, and all that, there's a lot of resources just in this one building to help.
Yeah, and then of course there's the music, right?
Yep.
Like the most important, the reason why we're all here,
music.
right, is the art, the music. You know, having something to relate to, having something to put in your ear holes that fills your head with something that's not so dark, right?
Oh, lyrics are dark, but still. I mean,
Well, you know what I mean,
music's
like-
uplifting.
But there's so many. We have different bands here, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but my kid was recently bullied at school, and I said something about it, and of course all the aunties jumped in there like, when, where, let's go. I'm like, it's a kid, y'all. We're not gonna fight a kid, but even though they won't, they make you want to. But
His hands are ready to eat for everyone.
it was the drummer for one of the local bands. They have played here a couple of times, and they said that's what this song is all about. That's what this song that we wrote is about. Have them listen to it. And I said, hey, listen to this song. And I was like, I like that song. That little thing, just that little song is like, I like that.
Yeah, we've said it before a bunch of here on the show about how like having something like having a song that makes you feel like you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Like it's such an invaluable thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and people don't always want to give local music a chance or give local art a chance because they have their favorite bands that they listen to that on Spotify that millions of other people listen to.
But wait.
you can always find. You don't know. You might find your favorite song
Yeah.
at a local show.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been spearheading this campaign since the day we opened the door.
Yeah.
Well, since before we opened the doors about investing in local music. Like ever since I started this journey and started get to know everybody and get to know the music. I mean, I don't even listen to regular radio anymore.
No.
Like I'm still like when I go for like commercial music, I'm still listening to the shit I listened to in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
Like I don't even know what the new hot shit is because unless. I know Taylor Swift's hot shit because I watch football. But
Okay, we're not going there with that. We're not going there with that. I already got to put up with that because my wife is a Taylor Swift fan.
Let's not stir the Swifty pot.
hey, look, more power to her, man. At one point, she was a local independent artist.
She was at one
You know what I
point.
mean? Like
Everybody's
that's
got to be local first.
that's the diamond in the rough, right? That's the one that makes it. But for every Taylor Swift, there's 100,000 young ladies that are writing music that no one's giving a fuck about because they don't go to local shows.
I mean, her first song that was with the video was put on TV. Or like on CMT. I do like 90s country music. Okay, but anyway, it was put on CMT.
90s is when country died.
Yeah, pretty much. But she was on there, and it wasn't until 5 or 6 years later till she became a common household name. But that one song, with that was like one of those. You thought she was a one-hit wonder. That's the word I'm looking for. But then she came back and was like, no.
I don't know, after her antics on Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
and she wanted to be that dancy little cheerleader girl
Yeah,
on there, I was
yeah.
like,
Okay. But yeah, like, I mean, there's people that will complain about, like, missing, like, because there are those people that saw some of these bigger bands back when they were playing local venues and got to see them for, like,
I
a
got the
$10.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
And
I
then
was
these other
there.
bands like, why can't I ever do that? Well, you could come in December and see Evergone before they get big or something like
Yeah,
that. Like, you
yeah.
you have to give these artists a chance to be able to have those stories.
Yeah.
So somebody in this scene will make it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And hopefully more than one. And hopefully they'll come back and reach a hand out and you bring some other locals out with them and stuff.
That's the way I've always seen it is
Yeah.
like if you're willing to, because there are some people that like to, push themselves and not help at all. But it's if we all work together, if we bring everybody to the table and everyone gets to eat, then it's
Yeah.
like we can all pull each other up if we want to.
And speaking of that, Friday night, at our Friday night show, I don't remember which band I was introducing, but I looked out in the crowd and I saw at least 6 other musicians from 6 other bands sitting in the audience. They were not playing that night. They just came to the show.
Yeah.
That's if one of us eats, we're all going to eat. Coming out and supporting each other. I was sitting there counting. It was just making my day.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah,
that.
I always get excited when I see, musicians come in to support shows that they're not on.
Right.
Like that's a good feeling.
It is.
I got a chance to get out of my world this past week, and I went to the Milestone on Tuesday because they had a Tuesday show to support them. Introduced myself to Buck.
Yeah.
Got to see Nosy Neighbor was the opener, and No Scope. I got to see No Scope finally. They were supposed to be here at a show last year, but then something happened where they couldn't make it. They were really fun. It felt good to get out and support local bands that weren't playing at my venue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it just felt good to be there to support. You know what I
It
mean?
is really cool to look out and go, hey, I know that guy. That's not a regular. I know that guy.
It was hard not to get noticed. I was trying to hide behind Tim and AJ.
Really?
And Nosy Neighbor, they played their first show with us at the Milestone
Yeah.
back in February.
oh, wow.
Yeah, 'cause
we've
you
done
know-
a lot of shows already.
Yeah, I know. We've
Those kids, I love their drive, man.
Yes, they do have a
Yeah,
drive.
yeah. I mean, they emailed me several times before we gave him a shot, and I'm glad we did because I see him. Blake specifically.
Yeah.
He's all over social media. He's pushing. He's
Yeah.
supporting. He shows up to other band shows.
Yep.
And they're playing here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They're great kids, and I love the energy with which they're approaching it. They're the next generation, right, of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You knew one of them. Right?
Blake Hill.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah.
He's the driving force behind that band, and he's just a great person to be around. You know what I'm saying? Like he believes in it. He supports the scene. He shows up to other shows, and that's why the guys like that are going to keep getting opportunities with us.
You just gotta show like you want it. If you want it, you got to go for it. Sometimes, whenever I work my jobs and stuff, I sometimes think, man, it's like I used to do a lot more. I was like, but now it's hard to shuffle between your regular 9-to-5 job and trying to do a band.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just about every band we talk to, everyone works. So like this is all energy, and then a lot of them have kids. Like, I look at Jameson here. Jameson can't stop having kids.
No, this stop. There's no way. There's no physically way for that to be possible.
I always go by this saying, ladies and gentlemen. Rabbit in latex, or she gets your paychecks.
Nice.
That's all I gotta say. I've gone by that motto since I was 18. I don't have no kids yet. I'm 32. Rabbit in latex, or she gets your paychecks.
We look like a big family until people find out that we're a blended family, and so it's not like
It's still a big family.
Yeah, because we do have them the majority.
It's a lot of
the
kids,
time.
man. It's a lot of kids.
Yeah, I got all 5 of them like 80% of the time. It can get hectic in there sometimes.
That son of
all the
yours,
time.
though, he's gonna be one energetic drummer.
Yeah, the kid that remembers to practice drums when it's bedtime.
They want me to
Every time. It's always bedtime when he decides it's time to practice.
Yeah, of course. They want something. They want to do something else to go to bed.
Well, has he got his first set yet?
Yeah, our bassist, the other Alex, gave him a small drum set that his daughter had outgrown, and he has that set up in his room. And it's like, it's bedtime. He's like, no, it's time to practice drums.
Just 30 minutes.
Good for him.
He's pushing that envelope. No, I'm going to drum.
Well, it's hard as a parent. Like I know this is definitely different from my parents' generation. My parents' generation will shut shit down.
Oh yeah,
it's time for bed. But when I see my daughter like getting into something that's
like.
productive, I'm like, fuck that. Let her fly, baby. Like let her do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll rest later. Like if as long as what she's doing is if she's just flipping through her phone and it's time for bed, it's time for bed. But even with video games, like I'm not really a gamer. I don't play video games that much at all. But there is a skill like to the coordination, the hand-eye coordination, and the reflexes and the muscle memory and stuff. Like there's the strategic part of a lot of these games. Like I can appreciate that. It's just when I see dudes that are our age, your age, my age, and they're playing 4, 5, 6, 10 hours a day, that's fucking sad.
Making millions of dollars on YouTube, man.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yes, you can make money doing that, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play for fun. I'm not good. I don't even try anymore. Like I just play it for fun when I can. But
I like arcade games.
I just stick with Mario Kart. That's all I need.
Mario Kart was fun. So I did play
life.
that game. I mean, the last system I had was a Nintendo 64.
oh, that was like but arguably that was like the best system ever.
I couldn't agree more.
The only game I play is a PC game. So
Star Fox 64 will always be like
That
my
was
favorite.
a fun one.
James Bond.
I had WCW versus NWO. That was a good one. I never could get GoldenEye. I sucked at that game.
the wrestling games I used to like to make
WWF
characters.
Attitude, whenever they had it for N64, that was my dad's favorite because the storyline for it and all that.
There was a game called NBA Hang Time. It was Nintendo's version of NBA Jam. Remember the old arcade game? He's heating up. He's on fire, right? So it was called NBA Hang Time, and they had this thing where you could create your own character on it. And I had like this, my character was like a tall, skinny, old wizard dude with like a long beard and a wizard hat. And I'd have this guy running down the court, cutting fucking cartwheel or flips off the screen, coming down for slam dunks. Shit was so much fun.
I have an ex who it was one of the wrestling games. I don't know which one. It was on PlayStation. But he'd be at work And I just love to design the characters. And I didn't realize I was making unbeatable characters by their skills. And he'd be playing, what the fuck is this? Who's that? What? Who are they? Like, there was some
Who's
characters-
big chesty Harry here?
No, there's some characters that I made that he's like, what the? Like, I made Jared from Subway because that's when Jared got healthy.
Jesus.
And Jared came out there, came running out. That was before all his controversy.
Yeah,
but
that didn't age well, did it?
no, it did not age well at all. But yeah, he was like, "What? Where all these characters come from?" I'm like, "Oh, I was
Well,
making."
like I have seen like YouTube videos of like the kids doing like Call of Duty and GTA and stuff like that, and the way that they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Now, like it's not. There's a line where it becomes unhealthy. Yeah. Like you know, I kind of wish I was good at them games so I could get in there and just troll people that take it too seriously. Man, and just name my character Your Mom Snatch 69 and just go fuck shit up. Just to piss these people off.
Like the only multiplayer
God.
game that I have played recently like that was I did play some Fortnite with my daughters. And my 11-year-old is like terrifyingly good at that game. I was like, I don't know where things are in that game. And she's just like, you want that gun? We're going to go over here. We're going to do this. And I'm just like, okay, we won. It's like,
That's talent.
yeah, it's scary how good she is. I was like,
Yeah, again, there's a skill there that
Yeah.
she's learning. As long as you just don't go overboard with it, like it's cool.
Right.
yeah.
All right, enough pontificating on video games. We're going to wrap things up, man. I want everyone to know that we have a punk rock Christmas show Friday, December 22nd. We've got Skewer Rat, we've got the Ruftons, we've got A Life Worth Taking, and Evergone. It's going to be a great show. Fellas, you want to tell everyone where to find you, what to look for, to plug away, and then we'll get out of here.
Oh man, you can look us up on alifeworthtaking.com. Is it .com or .org?
.com. We're not an organization.
We
I mean,
could
I guess
be.
we are.
Our sign looks like a cult symbol, anyways. I mean,
my
it's not. I
God.
mean,
Let's start a cult.
It's Seymour.
Do you want to start a cult?
I mean, we get the government discount like the church. You know,
I mean, hey,
This
the
conversation always starts back here.
we can say we started our cult behind the Rooster.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
But yeah,
Believe me, I've thought about going religious, getting that.
I could already hear the chanting now.
All right, so where else can we find y'all?
we have our Facebook at Life Worth Taking, Instagram A Life Worth Taking, TikTok A Life Worth Taking.
We don't have Twitter.
Or it's not even Twitter anymore. Like
Okay, we don't have the X.
Yeah, because I could never figure out how that site works.
Trump
So
did,
we just-
but he just made it bad.
I've never been on it, so.
I tried years ago to like signed up, and I'm just like, this makes no sense. I can't find anything I'm looking for. So
All right, so
Yeah.
check them out. A Life Worth Taking.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
and
so
YouTube.
much. And YouTube. Yeah, same thing. A Life
Yeah.
Worth
Oh.
Taking.
Yeah, it's-
YouTube, yeah,
yeah, you can find
I
us
think
on all
that's about
that. The latest.
Just one of them, you should change the name to something ridiculous.
That would be funny. Our last TikTok's up to like 700 views, I think, with
Nice.
featuring her.
She's
tells
the
a
queen
great-
of socials. I'm telling you,
She
man.
tells a great
Best thing
Christmas
ever happened to us on social media. Yeah.
It was really cold when we were filming
It was
that.
fucking cold.
She got down and closed that book. It was just like, we're
Yeah, if you
done.
don't know what he's talking about, go look at our social media. We have a promo up there that Ariel read for us. She did a night before Christmas, but
G-Town version.
G-Town style.
Yeah, it was the Friday before Christmas.
Yeah, so come on out Friday the 22nd. We're gonna have a good time. Thank you so much for doing this, guys. I really
Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Stay
Peace and
punk
love.
metal, my friends.
Oh wait, what was it you said?
Said stay punk metal,
no.
my friends.
Wrap it in latex.
Wrap it in latex or she gets your paychecks.
There it is.